Good morning. Good morning. This is your med check reminder on this freaky, spooky Friday. Speaking of which, I got to take my medication before I forget. Let me go ahead and get my medicine, y'all. Go ahead and make sure I do it. Ah, y'all hate it when y'all pouring out your medicine and too much come out, and you're like, "What, bitch?" Anyway, this is your med check reminder. Take your medications today. Let me go ahead and take my medicine. All right, took my medicine. Whew. Let me go and make sure before anything else goes on. I go in here and I go to my dashboard and go to my content and put this to where when the stream ends, my live chat will show up. Y'all know I like to have that in my subscribe thing. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to go back to the details of this and open up the video. So, how's everybody been? How's everything going? Now, we have been talking a little bit about different cases in the true crime sector with the Nevaeh case. I am going to continue to cover that as it unfolds. Um, before long, I am going to be doing a game night for the members and the subscribers. I'm going to do it so y'all subscribers can have some fun too. And then eventually I will switch the games over to members only, but I want the subbies to be able to play around with it a little bit, have a little fun, and get a break from, all the mess and whatnot. And so everybody can have a good day. Um, so, that's a part of it. I've been sitting there, trying to figure out what's going on in the sectors. And there's been a lot of drama recently within all sectors. And I will say that if you ain't watched Room Shaker is going to have these sector awards. It's going to be fun. And then I've heard about Queen 88 in February is doing a stripper challenge. Heard about that. I heard that was going to be pretty cool. Uh, and then I heard that there's possibly going to be some more, things going on in February. Um, and I heard about Duck's channel over in the Mo 3 sector getting hit. Um, I don't know the exact situation of what all went down there, but I was just going to tell y'all about it and whatnot. Um, and then I do note that there's going to be some possible shows coming up. If I'm a part of them, I will let you know. We're going viral video between myself, V. Lachey, and Miss Hazel Diane should be coming up soon. I have to get up with them and talk to them and see what day we're doing it. Everybody knows as long as it's not on a Saturday. Saturday is me and my husband's day, and I don't want that ever to be touched or whatnot. So, um, we're going to look at some things today as our content. Now, yesterday was my son's 70th birthday party. Everything went straight. He turned the big 1-7 yesterday, and I still reflect back on the day he was born and how scared I was and all these other things and where we came from to where we are. Because everybody knows that everybody has a story, right? We all have a story to tell. We've all been through something. We're all going through something, right? But it depends on that. Now, I did tell Lemon that I would help him with his Discord. And yesterday it was so funny because we were talking and stuff, and he said, we were talking in his chat, and Sour Patch said that he was waiting on me and I was waiting on him. So I guess we wasn't communicating because I was just waiting on him to hit me up and say, hey, I'm free. I'm awake right now because I know that he does the night show, right? And so he's up till 6 o'clock in the morning, my time. So I know that's early in the morning for him. I don't know what time after he goes to bed when he gets up. So we got to get up together, Lemon, so I can help you out with that situation. Because I do know how. A lot of people don't know this. I know how to build a Discord from the ground up. I know how to make administration chats. I know how to set up bots. I worked for one of the biggest gaming bots on Discord. It's called the RPG bot. It was basically a RPG game, and it's still there. And I'm considered retired staff over there, and I could probably go back to working for them at any time because we left on good terms. At the time when I quit working for them, I was having problems with my health. So they still have me over there as a retired staff member. I could probably go back to being staff at any moment that I wanted to. Um, you know, we left on good terminology. It wasn't bad terms. I left being it because I couldn't give them the time that was needed to be a staff member over there. Like, so it didn't make sense for me to continue knowing I didn't have the time at the moment, right? But there's this I was gonna tell y'all about it. There's these channels that I watch because today is Freaky Spooky Friday, right? That one of them's called Lighthouse Horrors. I listen to him right before bed every night. You would think with them being scary stories, I would have nightmares. No, I don't. And it's just the way his voice is set up that it just lulls me right to sleep every night. He is one of the best in my opinion. And then also like Horror on the Rocks. He has this thing where he does this one thing. It says I inherited a mortuary. It's an amazing story. He's a great narrator. I think that's actually a pretty cool thing when people can narrate stories and they just have the voice for it. And he has the voice for it. So I was sitting there I was thinking today about, urban legends and I know that here in Mississippi we have quite a few urban legends, right? Hey, female fly girl, what's up? How you doing? Salute, salute. We're just over here just talking um about urban legends and different things. And so, good morning. I was sitting there thinking about all the urban legends that Mississippi has, right? Because that's where I'm from. I'm from Mississippi. Um, we have quite a few urban legends and scary stories and different things. Oh, hey, Lady Sparkle. Hey, love. How are you doing? You know what's crazy, Lady Sparkle? I gotta tell you something, girl. I gotta tell you something. You know, I didn't listen to you when you warned me about the BMF guy, right? Because I like to give people a chance and get to know them myself and how they treat me. And I do that for everybody, right? And I don't get in other people's beefs. I don't do that. I don't insert myself in it. I allow people to do what they're going to do. Well, he's had people coming under my comment sections talking about, I warned King BMF about you because you listen to Sparkle. I'm like, no, I have a problem with BF because of my own reasons. Has nothing to do with Lady Sparkle. Okay? Um, it has nothing to do with their situation. So, yeah, and then talk about how can you be of God but be in the beef sector? First off, I can be anywhere I want to be. God didn't say I couldn't have beef. I'm just saying. Hey, Ray, good morning, love. Good morning, babe. Hey, James. But so, yeah, that situation happened. I looked in, you know how it hides comments when people talk crap? I looked in there and saw that. I'm like, oh my God, I am staying the hell away from that shit. I don't do crazy mess. I just don't do it. No, sir, no, ma'am. Um, but we can go look at it if y'all want to. Let me show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all. Oh, we're gonna look at this together. This is a freaky, spooky story. If you want to ever get to know it, me trying to be nice to someone was such a terrible thing. Right? We're gonna look at. I'm gonna screen share this and show y'all. Um, Now some of these were hidden because they posted links or something. But I gotta show y'all specifically this one. Hold on, let me screen share. Present. Share screen. And this is my community tab, y'all. Okay, and so we gotta share screen to show this one. Do y'all see that right there? I warned BMF Lou about you, Charlie. You do not represent Jesus. No true follower of Jesus would be in no beef sector. And you listen to Sparkle of all people. Sparkle is and they use the P word, and a beef sector reject. Mr. Jason Paul, white dude, you don't know shit about beef sector. So, sir, you are not beef sector. Stay in your lane. Okay? Stay in your lane. Let me just say it that way. I went and checked out your videos, Mr. Jason Paul. That's what your name on YouTube is, so it's not doxing. And you're a white dude who seems to be going after people. So how can you talk about me, kind sir, when you know nothing about me? You don't know me from Adam's house cat. You don't know me at all. You've never spoken to me. You have no interactions with me. So, um, you don't know what was going on with that situation and when it happened and why I was so upset at him. It was because how he came at me. So if he's lied to you and said because I stopped fucking with him because I chose somebody else's side, bullshit. That's not what happened. It's how he spoke to me, kind sir. Okay? I don't like when somebody comes at me sideways, and no one should like that. So if you allow people to talk to you any type of way, that's your stuff. But he was acting like a crazy ex-boyfriend who was like, "You ain't shared my channel in 2 months." Bruh, do you know how many people I support on a daily? I can't be everywhere. I am one person. And at that time, I've stated before, I was not even on these YouTube streets like that. You can ask anybody. They were asking where the hell I was at because I'd been so busy that I wasn't in hardly no chats, sharing no one. Okay? And sometimes that, happens. Um, so sir, maybe you should, instead of listening to somebody else's words, do your own research before you jump into a beef you don't understand. He got mad because I wouldn't block Sparkle. Tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Because I told him he wanted me to go after people for him. And I said, I'm not getting in your beefs, which is what you should have done too, kind sir. Because let me explain something to you. When those two content creators that are beefing and you're taking a side become friends again, you're going to look like the asshole. And you're going to look like the bad guy, and you were set up for it. So maybe you should learn how to move on these YouTube streets correctly. Now, if we want to get technical, if I click on your name and we go look at your channel, sir, okay, what does it look like you're doing, sir? How can you say that I'm against God when if we look at your posts, the things that you're sharing are not that of God? You're sitting there being worse, saying you're in the name of something because you hear something that's not even true and repeat it. Sir, if you're going to do anything, make sure you do your research before you talk crap about people that you know nothing about. All right? You just called someone a ghetto bee. And a welfare bee. Let me say this like that. I don't even know the lady that you're talking about, but that rhetoric is also racist as shit. So hopefully they'll expose your ass very soon. Because people like you who think that you're above everyone else and better than them, and then you sit there and talk crap, that's on you. Unlike you, I truly cared about Quay. I was actually friends with Quay, sir. I'm just giving you a little word of advice. Stay out of beef sector business when you don't know nothing about it. Okay? And I'll explain to you, hey Ray, basically King Lou and Sparkle have beef, right? In their sector. It's hey Miss Rose, hey, good morning, beautiful. So they have beef in their sector. They're beefing with each other, right? And I wanted to stay out of it because it has nothing to do with me. Their beef is their beef. I have no idea when their beef started. I have no idea how it what's going on with it. So why would I insert myself in a beef that has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with me, right? I told him that. I said, I'm not going to judge you based on how Sparkle feels, nor am I going to judge Sparkle on how you feel. I'm going to judge both of you based on how you treat me. If you treat me good, I'm going to treat you good. And so I went over to his channel and I was nice to the young man. Well, he's older than me, I believe, but y'all know how I speak. I'm very respectful. And I was very, very nice. He had made it up in his mind that I did not like him and that I was against him because I didn't block Sparkle. Or I took her side because some trolls was telling him I didn't like him. I'm like, did you hear that come from my mouth? No. In fact, the day before he made those comments, as if I didn't like him, I stopped my entire show. I was talking about something total different to help him and show him how to stream things on YouTube. I stopped my entire show to help this man, right? And then he came in, and he was smart to one of my members, said something smart, Alec, and my member didn't say anything back to him, right? And she knows who she is. And then he's like, I don't even know. And then he lied when he came up on my panel and said, I ain't been to your live stream since Saturday. If anybody knows me, they know I don't stream on Saturday. I'm not even online on Saturdays. The only reason I was on his chat that day on a Saturday is because my husband had went out to the store to get the things I needed to cook that day. So I had a little bit of time. But then when my husband came back, I told him, I said, look, I got to get off here. I got to go cook. I'll talk to y'all later. I'm learning that, Miss Rose. I'm learning that when you try to help people sometimes, you know, it's not always in your best interest when you try to help people. They're trying to involve me in their beef and their mess, and I'm not going for it. I have ignored every single person that he's tried to send over here to say something. I have blocked him. I have not spoken about him. I have not did a live on him. This is my first time speaking about it since the incident happened. And as long as people leave me alone, I won't speak on it. So if you stop poking me and messing with me, I will leave you alone. Leave me alone. I am saying this once and once only. Leave me alone. That's all I ask of you. I've done nothing to you but be nice to you, sir. I tried to help you in any way that I could, was trying to help you come up with different content, show you how to stream video games, tell you what consoles to buy or do so that you could stream video and do different content, trying to get you away from the mess so you could have, content on your channel that wasn't messy. And that way you could have peace of mind and stop all this mess. But it seems like you love it and you love to antagonize people. So that's your choice. And I hate to tell you, kind sir, BMF, but please tell your people to stop harassing me. Okay? That's what I'm asking you of you right now. I was kind to you, I was nice to you. I didn't even read you as hard as I could have. I didn't talk about your son. I didn't do anything bad against you. I just said that for me, it's a no. I'm going to block you and never deal with you again. That's what I mean. That's what I say. So that's what I'm asking you right now. Please leave me alone. I will leave you alone. Thank you. Okay, that's all I had to say on that one. You know what I'm saying? I just had to make that be known because I just so happened to go over there on my community tab and was checking something, right? And so y'all know I got trolls that don't like me just because of one reason or the other. You know what I mean? So that's why I wanted to make sure that's known, you know. Um the I don't normally check my held comments much. And that's why I just noticed it. It was 8 days ago when that happened, which was 2 weeks ago, um, or whatnot. But I didn't pay attention to it because I don't check that all the time. Um, I'm just trying to make sure that my held I was checking my held reviews and the filtered ones was all. And that's how I found out about it. I will say that I have some things I wanted to ask this sector. If any of you play um, Minecraft or anything, please let me know. Minecraft is a video game that you can play um, on any console and it's cross platform. So if you have an Xbox, a computer, or a PlayStation, I can start a world and we can basically it's building game survival. And I would set it to the easiest difficulty because I know that I might even set it as peaceful where we don't even have to worry about mobs or anything coming in and destroying your things until people get used to the game, right? They get used to building, they have their little shelter, and then I could set up the monsters to where they come in and you have to fight. But I'd like to do that with the sector. If anybody is interested, please let me know. I don't want to have to pay for something and find out nobody really wants to do it. So if nobody wants to do it, that's also fine. I just thought it might be a cool thing to do. Um, set it up to where we can all have our little fun in the game. You know. Um, I love me some YouTube, Miss Rose. I am gonna do a game night soon. And this one, you do not have to have anything crazy, just two devices. Like you have a cell phone and a computer. And it's the Jackbox games. It's really simple to play. You just have two devices, and we can have so much fun doing it. VS actually asked me, "When's the next time you go do a game nitro? That was so much fun." I promise, if y'all just give it a chance and try it, it seems confusing. It's really not. It's really fun. Most of it's trivia. So let's say you like trivia, like, and we can even laugh at each other when we get things wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. You know what I'm saying? And one of them is making up funny prompts. So I did buy some when I got my first and only YouTube check. I bought some more of them while they were on sale. So we'd have multiple games to play now. Instead of just one pack, I have a bunch of them. Right. So I figured if y'all just give it an opportunity for your first time, you're really going to love it. Just try it, you know. And then if you don't like it, you don't ever have to do it again. It's like when we were kids and our mom and daddy made us try that yucky broccoli. And we may have hated it the first time we tried it. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I ask is to try it. And then if you don't like it, you don't ever have to do it again. All right. I'm going to do that soon. When I set it up, I'll let y'all know. I'll let everybody know. I'll try to share it everywhere so people can try to join and have some fun. Because I want people to test it out and to see for themselves. Like, I don't want to just tell you about it. I want you to see for yourself. Y'all know how I am. But so, since everybody's in here, how are y'all been doing? And do y'all have any amazing plans for this weekend? Like, are y'all gonna go watch a movie? Has anybody thought about like there's a movie me and my husband been wanting to see for a while. I don't know if we're gonna watch it this weekend or wait till it's on streaming, but we've been talking about watching Nosferatu. I'm a huge horror junkie. I love horror movies, horror games. Yesterday while I was in Lemons, I was playing around with 7 Days. It's a world building, and it has zombies. But I have it set right now where there is no zombies, so I can just world build pretty much. I'm making it a survival game without the zombies, pretty much. What suggestion do you have, Miss Rose? I love listening to suggestions. You know I love suggestions. You know I love hearing all about it. Oh, speaking of which, I need to go ahead and do this before I forget. Y'all know I always forget to do this. It's my fault. Y'all don't have to hit the link. I'm just putting it there. If you want to, you can. But I'm putting it there so I won't forget to do it. Because we all know I forget to do it. Because I do that all the time. I love horror things. I may actually I do need to set up my backup channel soon. And on my backup channel, I may actually do some gaming content because I do have a gaming laptop. Not sure. I may just do crazy mess over there. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do on that backup yet, but I do know I need to create one because everybody knows that you gotta have a backup for the backup. Oh, I think it's Miss Rose. Let me make sure. Yep, it's authenticated. Hey, Miss Rose.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, chat. Hey, my Ray Black. Hey, I love you, baby. You one of my favorite mods. You's all right in my book. Hey, Charlie. I
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
suggestion for you for a game.
What
You
game?
could go on to YouTube and get jingles for like old fashioned retro jingles from like back in the 60s and 70s, like the jingles for the TV shows, like commercial jingles.
Yes.
And you can play a few bars of the commercial and see if they can get it. Like, where's the beef? That lady who said, "Where's the beef?" You can play a little bit of it and see if they can guess what commercial that was and what product that what the commercial was about.
Oh, that might actually be a good one. Yeah, because a lot of people love guessing games, and that would
Yeah,
be a good one. And because some of us remember some of the jingles, but we forget other ones.
yeah, but you could do the logos. Like, what logo is this?
Oh yeah, because they have those through Facebook too, where you can take the quiz test or whatnot. We could do
Yeah,
those. I know of some websites that we could do the quiz test. What logo is this? Who does it belong to? And it gives you A, B, C, D.
yep, yep. I was just gonna say that. That's a good game for you.
If y'all, Miss Rose, when I do the game night, what I'm talking about, they're called Jackbox games, and basically, one of them's called Murder Mystery Party, right? And
Hmm.
if you get the question wrong, then you have to go to the killing floor, and basically, you have to either like they'll do different mini games, and sometimes you have to cut off a finger, and that cuts off like let's say the answers are A, B, C, D. If you cut off your
Hmm.
pinky, you can't choose D, even if it's the correct answer, because you
Mm.
yeah, and so it's really fun. I just BS absolutely loved it. She thought it was the most fun thing she's ever done. She said I gave it a chance. I was at first I didn't want to give it a chance 'cause I didn't want to have to grab two devices. You know what I'm saying? But then once I gave it the chance, I absolutely thought it was the funnest thing. And all it is you have to have two. I stream the game, right? And
Uh-huh.
all you have to go to is this thing called Jackbox Games. You don't have to put any information. You just put a nickname for yourself, like you would put Miss
Okay.
Rose, and the digit code that comes with it. Like that's why you have to have two devices so you can watch the stream and see the code, right?
Well,
And
that sounds fun.
yes, you just type in the code and a nickname for yourself. It pops you up on the screen. And after, I think it's 6 or 7 people to 8 people for most of the games, right? After
Hmm.
that fills up, then you can play as the audience members.
With the audience members. Yeah. Oh, girl, when you gonna do it?
I'm thinking about doing it sometimes next week. I'm just trying to figure out when everyone will be, more so free to do so because we know I may do it on Sundays. I'm not sure. I know Saturday, y'all know that's my husband's day.
Hmm.
So Sunday I do Geek and God Day. So halfway in the morning I'm playing D&D, and then about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 I'm free. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on Sunday afternoons.
Hmm.
But I know a lot of people go to church Sunday night. So that's the only reason I don't want to touch around with Sunday too much.
Well,
Um,
whenever you do, I'm there to support. I'll be there to support. But you said you like horror movies too. What? Let me ask you this: what was the most scariest movie you ever saw in your whole life?
If I had to choose one, there'd be two of them, and the only reason so is they're not actually scary, as in when you watch them. The scary part about them is they could actually happen in real life. The
What did
movie,
you say?
it's not that they're scary, as in the movie scary. It's more
Mm-hmm.
so that they can happen in real life. Like Cabin Fever is a nasty movie. It's just gross looking, right? But
Uh-huh.
if you look into the story behind cabin fever, right, it's talking about a flesh eating bacteria in the water. We already have those. That could
But that
literally
would be
happen in real
scary.
life.
So you don't like blood, guts, and gore.
Oh no, I like blood, guts, and gore. I can eat my food while watching it. What and if you ever watched the movie Ticks from way back in the day,
What movie? Pit.
Ticks. It's about ticks that grow overly big. The reason
I
the
ain't never
ticks
said I heard of that one.
The reason the ticks get so bad is some crazy redneck was in the backwoods growing weed and he sprayed all kind of chemicals. And the THC mixed with the chemicals mixed with the oil from the where they had the greenhouse
Mm-hmm.
mixed together, and it made the ticks grow extremely large. Technically that could happen because some crazy ass redneck could be in the backwoods doing some crap and make some kind of animal, mutate or something with something. That's the kind of scary stories that actually to me are good or scary. The ones that can actually happen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
See, Cabin in the Woods was talking about a flesh eating bacteria. Did you know we actually have flesh eating bacteria already? And certain waters in Georgia you cannot go into if you have a cut on your body?
They're called parasites.
Yes, we actually have that in real life. That's why I
Yes,
say
we do.
those kind that could actually happen. In that instance, that could actually happen.
So
That's
you
why
don't
those
think
are
like Jason and Friday the 13th and all that, you don't think that's scary? Is that scary or gory to you?
I just like watching them. I don't find them scary. I find them entertaining because I find
Uh,
them unrealistic in a lot of
Yeah, that's
ways.
true. That's true. That's true.
I do just love horror in general, but to me, the most scariest thing is something that could actually happen to you. Because think about it, a Jason character, right? Could
Hmm.
that really, can slashers really stand up in real life and what they do in the movie really happen? Or could you get away?
Well, no, that could happen, Charlie. Let's be realistic. They have serial killers out there.
Yeah, but you could run away from Jason. You could get
Yeah,
away.
that's true. That's true.
Those people
That's
so
true.
dumb they be falling and breaking their ankles.
And why is the black person the first one that always dies?
See, that's where I find it unrealistic. Y'all know the black person when they see something messed up, they ain't
You
gonna
gonna
stay there. They
run.
gonna leave.
And you might be white, Charlie, but I don't consider you white. You's a sister girl.
You know that the black person ain't gonna be the first person to die. In fact, they're gonna be the only person that lives because they gonna run away.
Right, right,
They
right.
ain't staying there. They ain't staying there to get got. They're like, bye.
Or, or go tell somebody, you go check that out. No, we ain't gonna check nothing out. We out.
They ain't gonna be the first one to walk in the building and go, hello. Like can't the killer can't hear them. They
Well, I
ain't gonna
think
be doing all that. That's
my
the white
scariest
crazy
movie,
white girl.
my scariest movie was The Exorcist.
Now that one could actually absolutely happen. And The
Right.
Exorcist was the original Exorcist was freaky. And if you look behind the story and what all kind of crazy stuff happened behind the scenes on that movie, it's psycho. Look at the stuff that happened, Miss Rose, behind the scenes on that movie.
Was it true?
They had no what they had happen is they had a lot of stuff happen behind the scenes. Um, uh,
I never knew
during
that.
it. Yes, it's like they had things happen on set. They had people who like passed away. They had a lot of stuff that went down after that movie and during filming of that movie.
Oh wow. I
In
never knew
fact,
that. I'm gonna have to look at that.
let me see. Exorcist uh and behind the scenes. See if I can find it for you.
Yeah,
What
because I'm gonna have to look that up because I like scary stuff.
It's really crazy. Where
So
they
people was
talk.
really dying after that. The people that was in the movie that was dying, or the people, their families, or the stars.
There was a lot of occurrences that took place while the filming was happening. It says, I'm gonna read you this article that I just looked
Okay.
up. Um, some theaters handed out barf bags during the movie. That's not one of the things. Linda Blair got bodyguards after the movie was released. Now I'm looking for the things. Oh, many people linked to the movie actually met tragic ends. So there's a
Mm.
lot of people who were involved in that movie who a lot of bad things happened to right after that movie. Actors Jack McGowan and Velisca Maleros both passed away after filming commenced. But what's truly weird is that both of their characters passed away in the film as well. Linda Blair's grandfather, Max von Shadow's brother, a night watchman and a special effects expert, also lost their lives during and after production of The Exorcist.
Wow. Wow. That's eerie.
Um, there was the spider walk scene was originally cut out of the movie, but it was put in. There's a lot if you really um
So
look
that's
into
on
it.
Google. That's on Google. I can
Yes,
Google it. Okay. I'm gonna do that.
they a lot of the things that happened on the movie, there was a lot of things that happened behind the scenes, and the person who voiced the demon in the show
Mm-hmm.
actually later experienced a tragedy. There's so much that happened that like they said there was on set there was like lights would go out and things would like all of a sudden happen to where people would freak out. I think one of the characters even broke a leg or an ankle or something. Like it was crazy, all the crazy
Wow.
stuff that happened on that set during the filming and after the filming. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
controversy surrounding that movie itself. If you
Wow.
look, all
Wow.
you got to Google is what happened, like Exorcist. Look up the Exorcist, right? And then like
Mm-hmm.
put Exorcist, strange things surrounding the movie.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good
It's
day, Charlie. It was good talking to you.
it was good
My
talking to you too, Miss Rose. Thank
my
you for
hubby, I
coming
just
on.
seen him walk in. I got to make sure he gets off work to work good.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Bennett, y'all have a good day.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.
That's nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of if you look, hey Tay Bay love, good morning. Um, if you look at the behind the scenes on that movie specifically, there's a lot of stuff that happened um, that really happened in real life, right? After the filming of that movie, a lot of things happened. And it's really crazy to see, um, you know, what really went down in the behind the scenes. This the details, the wild details is not what I was looking for. There was a lot of things um, that happened to that movie, and it was crazy. Um, I'm trying to look up the exact thing so I can show y'all because it was crazy. I don't think I looked it up Xers correctly, so I'm gonna actually okay, here's one of the things because this day is Freaky Spooky Friday. Anyways, this would match our thing today, right? I'm going to share screen and we're going to present. We're going to talk about it, child. Thank you, Miss Rose. You just gave me come up with something. Cause I was like, what am I going to do for a Freaky Spooky Friday that's freaky and spooky? Unexplainable things that happened while filming The Exorcist. The Exorcist is one of the most iconic horror movies of all time. It brought absolute terror to audiences everywhere in the 70s and would end up being one of the highest grossing supernatural horror films. Quite possibly the scariest part of The Exorcist is the true story that lies behind it. As if the thought of horror within the movie being real isn't enough, the events that took place during filming would add a whole other spooky layer to it. Many people believe that the film itself is cursed because of these strange occurrences. Here are 5 unexplainable things that happened while filming The Exorcist. Cast and crew deaths before the release of The Exorcist. There were not 1 nor 2, but 9 deaths of cast and crew members before The Exorcist was released. 2 actors scripted to die in the movie died during the movie's post production. One of the actors, Velisca Maleros, was said to die of natural causes, though the timing is undoubtedly eerie. The other actor, Jack McGowan, died from complications from the influenza virus. 7 other members among the cast and crew would die prior to the release. Not only that, many of the cast and crew, including Linda Blair, who played the possessed character, Regan, lost family members during this time. The son of Jason Miller nearly died after a motorcycle accident during the time of the filming. Another noteworthy occurrence was Paul Bateson, who played a nurse. Bateson killed a reporter before the release of the movie, although he confessed he couldn't give the police a motive for what caused him to do it. An unexplainable fire. William Friedkin, one of the directors, received a phone call alerting him to a fire that happened on set. A pigeon flew directly into a circuit box in the set of McNeil's house to start an almost completely destructive fire. While a fire on the set of the Exorcism movie would be eerie enough, it was the area not affected by the fire that adds to the creepiness. The only place the fire seemed to avoid was Regan's room, the room of the possessed little girl. The bedroom is where most of the action took place. Regan's room is where the exorcism, head spinning, and other demonic horror occurrences. In fact, the fire actually started during one of the exorcism scenes, according to Frankton. Because of this incident, there was a 6-week delay in production. Understandably spooked after this, a priest would be brought in to pray over the set. Ellen Burstyn and others suffer injuries on the set of The Exorcism. While shooting one of the scenes in the film, Ellen Burstyn got severely injured due to a random malfunction of her harness in The Exorcist. Burstyn played the mother of the possessed little girl Regan. In one scene, Regan, Linda Blair, pushes Burstyn to the floor and a harness would pull her back. The harness malfunctioned and pulled her too quickly, causing Burstyn to land on her tailbone. The intense impact on her coccyx would result in a permanent spinal injury. Her scream during the scene is real, caused by the pain. While working on the set, a carpenter lost his finger, a lightning tech lost a toe in a separate accident. Additionally, after the release of The Exorcist, a member of the audience passed out in theaters and broke his jaw. An eerie warning for the film's priest. Jason Miller played Father Carreras in The Exorcist and would be one of the priests to exorcise Regan. During the time of the filming, Miller got a frightening warning from a priest who had no knowledge of his part in the film. While handing him a medallion, the priest said, "Reveal the devil for the trickster that he is. He will seek retribution against you, or he will even try to stop what you are trying to do to unmask him." One has to wonder what would have caused the priest to deliver such a message to a stranger on the street. Linda Blair had mental breakdowns during The Exorcist filming. Linda Blair was only 14 years old when she starred in her first major movie role. The working conditions on set would be challenging for just about anyone, especially a younger teenager. On set, temperatures were often cold, and while everyone else wore protective clothing, Blair wore a thin nightgown most times. During many of the scenes, Blair would be thrust violently with the harness. It wasn't surprising that Linda Blair was rumored to have mental breakdowns during the film of The Exorcist, especially with the strange things that happened on set, coupled with the working conditions. William Frankton. Okay, where's the rest of it? It just literally ended at William Frankton. Y'all see that? I was trying to read the rest of it. That it don't have read more anywhere. Okay. It's like they ended at William Frankton. But if you look it up, there is a lot of strange things that happened on set. The original home for McNally home was destroyed by fire. Ellen Burstyn sustains permanent spinal injury. Abusive directing methods used by William Frankton. Inanimate objects moved on set. 9 deaths from crew and actors. Lightning strikes. Ancient crucifix in Rome screening. That's one of the things that actually happened. There was actual lightning strikes. Lightning struck the ancient crucifix in the Roman screening. Um, they said that inanimate objects moved on set too. Like, there's a lot of things that supposedly happened on that set that you can look into, and it's real crazy. Oh, when The Exorcist, let's share this tab instead. This is talking about some of the things that happened on set during the filming of The Exorcist. When The Exorcist was released, it was screened in one particular theater in Rome near the Vatican. The theater was located between 2 historic churches. On the day of the movie was released in Rome, there were unseasonal torrential rains and a thunderstorm, which were sure to scare effect of the Italian moviegoers. During the storm, a 400-year-old cross was struck by lightning and fell to the ground in the middle of the piazza or square just outside the movie theater. How is it that it's clear message from the superpowers that be? Maybe they didn't like the fact that The Exorcist was released the day after Christmas, intentionally to spark international religious furor. Bill Graham, televangelist, spoke frequently about the film publicly and claimed that the very celluloid of the film itself was cursed with powerful subliminal and demonic imagery. He went on to further explain to his followers that he believed a demon lived within the movie reel, captured during the filmmaking process, and that its power could influence anyone who watched the movie. What do you think? There's a lot of things that that they say happened during the filming of The Exorcist. So it's a lot of crazy things they say. I'm pretty sure that's probably not the only thing that's happened on a movie set that's crazy. But there there's a lot. Ooh, let's look up at some short stories. I like short stories. Ooh, Rose the Ghost of the White Eagle. Cameron, okay. This is indie horror short stories by the Modern Cauldron, and the website is puzzleboxhorror.com, category original short story. And this is by Modern Cauldron. Cameron exhaled a tired sigh as the group made their way into Portland. The paranormal team had been on the road for what feels like years now. The trip started early November, and it was now January. The last stop on this trip finally came at 12 a.m. as they turned onto Russell Street. They pulled up to an old brick building with 2 old shingle-paned windows looking out from the upstairs hotel. An old-fashioned wooden sign swung in the air as if to greet them and moved just enough to make the eerie creak all paranormal investigators like to hear. "White Eagle Saloon," exclaimed Nicole as she climbed out of the vehicle. Cameron clambered out, looking exhausted and less than impressed at her overjoyed excitement. "I can't believe they call this the most haunted hotel in Oregon," he stated daftly as he rolled his eyes. Nicole cut him a look as if to say, "Chill out," before spinning around to practice her opening segment under the old sign. Their technical intern, Jesse, gathered the bags and gear while shaking his head, wondering what he had gotten himself into on this one. The team entered the dimly lit saloon. The bar is old, but had been beautifully maintained. It felt like a mixture of a speakeasy and an old English pub. Over the arched doorway to the back, there was a large painting of a crystal ball that read Palaministry. There were a few tables scattered about the floor, surrounding a small stage where hundreds of bands must have played over the years. Gas lantern-looking lights adorned the walls and gave off a mellow, soft glow. The bar felt old and sleepy, yet oddly comforting. Nicole checked in with the bartender as the boys started to take a closer look around. Jesse made his way to the wall, which harbored pictures of the bar's history. Some seemed to date back to the early 1900s. He took the time to study one of a man named Sam Warwick before he moved down to another portrait of a beautiful young lady in a white dress. His eyes drifted down to the plaque on the wall beneath it, which simply read, Rose. Cameron slapped him on the back and scared the skin off him. Ready to settle in? Nicole has our room keys. Jesse laughed nervously back at him, watching his friends leave the bar. The old door in the hotel was outside the bar and led to a steep, narrow staircase. After almost 100 years of service, each step creaked as they walked up, protesting the weight of the gear they had bought with them. The floor that the rooms were on was much cooler than the floor below. It was even more dimly lit than the saloon, but it felt just as cozy and homey as they struggled with their bags down the narrow hallway to their rooms. They unloaded their gear in the rooms. Nicole was in room 2, which had the window that overlooked the street. Inside of the room, there was a small sitting chair, a standing chest drawer, a vanity table with a lace cloth across it, and a large painting in the corner across from the bed of a beautiful landscape. It felt like she had stepped into a different time. The boys were sharing room 3 just next door. It didn't have a window, but it was slightly larger. In their room, there were 2 single beds, both with side tables. There was a large oak wood table with chairs and a long dresser drawer. Around the room, Jessie noticed pictures of the man Sam. On the wall was a shelf with a few old-timey items: a shaving kit, a flask, a wooden hairbrush, and a stopwatch. He figured they were probably personal items of Sam, or supposed they look as if they were. After they were settled in, the team returned to the saloon for a few drinks and to gather their plans for the following day of filming. 2 more team members would join them to help with reading equipment and explanations of the building and its alleged Shanghai tunnels. Nicole always demanded to be a day ahead of the others. The only reason Jesse was with them ahead of schedule was due to the lack of space in the other car, as well as setup of night vision cameras. The 3 of them had a few beers as Nicole and Cameron bickered back and forth about details, lighting, walkthroughs, content about hauntings, and So on it went. Jesse found himself rather bored with the planning stage and decided to return to the room for the night. He left Nicole and Cameron to work things out. Walking up the stairs, he noticed the creaking was much louder than earlier in the day, and he had a sudden strong feeling of being watched. This feeling seemed to intensify as he made his way to the door of his room. Digging the key from his pocket, he suddenly felt a firm tug at the back of his shirt, nearly untucking it, which almost caused him to lose balance. He whipped around to find he was alone in the hallway. He shook his head. When he turned back to the door, he felt a light wind sweep across his neck, which sent him spinning around again. He tried to shake it off and laughed. Clearly, the long drive and extra rounds of beer were playing tricks on him. Once in the room, he quickly got settled into the far bed and fell into a deep sleep. Come on, Cameron, one more round, pleaded Nicole, gave her best pouty face. Fine, he exclaimed, and rolled his eyes at her again. Nicole popped up and all but ran to the bar to order drinks before promptly slipping off to the ladies' room. He sat studying the label he had almost peeled off completely from his bottle in one single piece. This seemed to bring a smile to his face just slightly. Nicole returned to the table looking a little pale and upset. Before he could ask what was going on, she demanded to go see the room. A bit shocked, he picked on her over the lightweight drinker she was, but there was no bubble burst of the typical Nicole response he would have expected from her. He followed her up the stairs and sensed eyes on him as he took at least looked down at the bar. All the sounds seemed to die away as he reached the top of the stairs, almost bumping into Nicole, who had suddenly stopped. This is where it happened, you know. This is the spot right here is where she died, Nicole said, barely looking over her shoulder at him. He blinked hard, slowly, only to find she was gone in the small second it took to gather himself. He slowly walked down the hall to room 2 and found the door was cracked open just enough. He saw her sitting in the chair by the window. He pushed the door all the way open and softly called her. She sat here right after night, wondering what life she could have, Nicole said in a flat tone that had him stuttering with each word. How do you know that? He asked slowly as he walked closer to the door to her. He reached out to touch her shoulder, shaking slightly. Suddenly she rolled her head around. Her face was ghostly white and haunting to gaze upon. Her mouth opened. At first no sound came out. Then suddenly she shrieked a deafening wail that sent him scrambling from the room. The door slammed behind him as he backed into the wall and sank to the floor. He pulled his camera up and tried to explain what just happened to him. His mind raced uncontrollably and caused him to feel like the world was spinning around him. His first thoughts were to capture everything that just happened on film. Then he remembered. Nicole! What had happened to her? Was she okay? He needed to muster enough courage to go back into the room to help her. He looked down the hall to the stairs and noticed the shadow of a figure. It was Nicole, looking overly concerned. What are you doing? I came back from the bathroom and you were just gone. She looked as confused as she sounded. He was without words and stammered a confusing trail of details, and she helped him up off the floor. She tried to calm him down and explained she couldn't have been in the room, as she was downstairs, but he wouldn't listen. He clawed at the doorknob only to find it was locked. She pulled her key out and twisted the knob, revealing an empty room. At this point, all of the color ran out of his face, and he was completely speechless. He swore what he saw was real, and that they needed to gather their things and leave right now. Nicole wouldn't have it. She thought he was just drunk and letting his mind get the best of him. She pushed him out of the room and ordered him to get some rest. She was now tired and feeling the rounds of beers as well. If you can't handle night one here, Cameron, I'm seriously worried about you. She laughed him off. Go to bed and get yourself together before tomorrow. I have too much writing on this, she further mocked him. He slowly dragged himself back to sanity. He nervously opened the door to room 3 to find Jesse sleeping hard in the far bed as if nothing had happened. He settled into the bed fully dressed and continued to search his mind for any form of peace. It's just exhaustion and too much to drink, he tried to reason with himself. Everything will be fine. I just need to sleep, as he spoke to himself. His eyes got heavier and heavier, and he felt the biting cold gnawing at his body. He wanted to get up, but couldn't find the strength within himself to do so. He resigned himself to roll over and tuck himself into a loose ball. Tomorrow will be better, he repeated to himself over and over again, until the dark cloud of sleep took a hold of him and carried him off. That was actually pretty cool. I wonder if they have any more of that story. Um, I guess it's a short story, so that was the freaky part that happened. That was pretty cool. Good morning, VS Boo. Hey, Watcher of Crazy. Good morning. I was just reading some spooky, scary stories on Spooky Friday, and we were talking about game night and doing it again and whatnot. And I'm thinking about doing it sometime this week. I'm gonna set a date and time and say it before it happens so that everybody has time to be here and have some fun. So I was reading some spooky, scary stories. I'm getting into my narration, y'all. I'm trying to get better at my narration. But that was a pretty cool little spooky story. I was thinking about doing that as content because I like other people who do it, but I'd have to first find some scary stories and whatnot and do it because I love listening to this guy. His name is Lighthouse Horror. I said it in the beginning of the show, and this other guy does it, Horror on the Rocks, and I love their narration. A lot of people say they like Dr. Creepypasta and a few other ones that do it, and I kind of like that. I might do that on my backup channel. I'm going to create my backup channel. I might do like scary story readings. Readings of horror stories or, like creepy pastas and stuff like that for people to fall asleep to because certain narrations, I'm not sure if I have the voice for it per se. I'm not sure if I have a relaxing enough voice, but maybe I do. If I do it a specific way, I'll have to record it and see how it sounds, if that makes sense. Um, but it may be something possibly that people might enjoy. And I know there's a thing for that. You know, I do my true crime over here, and I have my different things that I do weekly. I know that if I wanted to, I could be crazy and get in drama, but I like doing our little content over here and just chilling together and, you know, having our little fun. And I know a lot of people catch my replay, and I do want to thank everybody who hits that like, share, subscribe, and all those good things and is a member of mine. Um, I appreciate all supports. But I figure, you know, I could do that today and see how y'all like it, if you like it or whatnot. If you don't, you can also tell me it's not your thing, you know. But I might put that on the backup if it's not your thing. You know, not sure. I might do a little gaming on my backup. Not sure about that either. I'll figure it out. I do got to create the backup though, child. Everybody needs a backup for the backup for the backup for the backup. And it's always the overplay for the underplay in my cooling voice. Let's see here. I want to put it in this format so y'all can see. Hopefully, I don't know how well y'all can see this. Maybe I should zoom in a little. You know, let me see if that looks a little better. Yeah. So this is Anna Byron, Chapter 1 of The Haunting of Hecate Head. I could hear the waves lapping viciously against the rocky slope as the fog moved in, and the seagulls were baying loudly against the incoming tide. I could feel the salt licking my face as I was driving up through the breezy, chilly air of the coastline. A quick glance at my GPS told me I was about an hour south of Newport, Oregon. It had been a beautiful day so far on my drive up from Humboldt County on my way to check out other universities on the West Coast. My mom had always told me to shop around for my education. Despite my own desire to continue on with graduate school closer to home, even though I had been driving since 6 in the morning, I hadn't fully appreciated the sun until I saw it begin to disappear behind the dismal cloud cover and the bleak front that was coming off the water. I was less attuned to this type of dreary atmosphere than I realized, and for some reason I felt the hair on the back of my neck stand up. I could feel my grip tighten on the steering wheel, and I flashed back to catching ice on the roads back home during the winter. A spike of adrenaline pumped through my body. Something was strange about this stretch of coastline. Then I saw it, even if it was barely visible through the fog that had just now kissing the shore. It was the lighthouse. I had heard those rumors about the Hecate Head Lighthouse. It had been a beacon of maritime safety on the Oregon coast since 1894, but it had a robust, morbid history that seemed to fly under the radar. I scooted along Highway 101 in my cheap rental car, but the closer I got, the stronger I felt like I was being pulled towards it. It was an eerie trance that was dark and dangerous, but I couldn't keep from being lost within the tunnel vision. The rest of the drive there was a blur. Then I was pulling into the visitors' parking for the bed and breakfast that was now set up in the lighthouse keeper's cottage. It was like I blinked and I was just there. The normally bright red roof on the bed and breakfast was dull and bluish under the gloom that seemed to linger around the white cottage, and I was compelled to see if they had any vacancies. The lady at the front desk was sweet yet homely, but I suspected there was something dark and secret hiding under the shallow layer of her calm demeanor. Hey there, I was hoping that you had a room available. I barely recognized my own voice. It sounded so dreamy when I heard it out loud. I didn't register to me that there was another guest in the lobby until he cleared his throat. It made me jump a bit, but simply turned the page of the newspaper. He had his nose buried in it as if he didn't notice me either. The desk clerk handed me the key for something called the Victoria Room, and her melodious voice directed me up the stairs to what seemed to have been a master suite in a previous life, and according to the desk clerk, was where the lighthouse keeper and his wife slept once upon a time. I heard the name Rue coming from somewhere in her story. But to be honest, I kind of drifted in and out of the whole thing. I'm sure it would have been a captivating tale on any other occasion, or perhaps just any other location. This place just seemed to be so hollow, and there was a feeling that there was too many secrets lying just beneath its quaint and cozy facade. Maybe it's just that creepy, old and dirty looking doll that sat on the shelf behind the counter that was giving this place a weird vibe. Regardless, when I opened the door with the ancient looking key, I felt my face scrunch up. Great, it's pink. I don't know who I was talking to. Maybe it was just due to my own dismay to find the room was painted from floor to ceiling in that sickly pink pastel color. The bed was decorated with a floral quilt and matching pillowcases. I mean, I knew I couldn't complain about what the room looked like. After all, I'd only asked if they had any rooms available, and this was the only one the desk clerk had to offer me. Come to think of it, though, there only seemed to be 2 room keys missing. Didn't she tell me that there were no other rooms available? Maybe she just meant that they needed repair or cleaning, or who knows, maybe I was just being paranoid. The one saving grace that I could see was that the antique vanity near the corner had a complimentary bottle of wine and a glass. I slogged off my bag onto the corner of the four-poster that had trussed up in such a girly fashion, then grabbed the bottle and opener from the vanity and walked to the window. It seemed like the fog had lifted for the most part, although maybe it should have seemed strange. I had just arrived less than 30 minutes ago. Not a bad view, though. The garden was stunningly manicured, except for one small overgrown corner that looked as if it housed a headstone. There wasn't that wasn't all too interesting to me, honestly, but at least the darkness would be more forgiving on these walls, I hoped. I gave one final tug to the corkscrew and heard the satisfying pop and hello, Vino. I glanced over at the bedside table next to the window, and a small pamphlet caught my eye. I picked it up without any reason, but perhaps it was due to my incessant curiosity. Regardless, it was in my hands. The title gave it away as a rundown of the history of this adorable macabre bed and breakfast. I took the chair in the corner and switched on the light, flipped through this crispy little historical piece. I stopped on a page about the woman named Rue. Shit, maybe I should have listened to that desk clerk's story. This was actually pretty interesting. I mean, I'd heard rumors, of course, but nothing I'd heard was as juicy and dark as the brief info in the pamphlet I was holding. Namely, because I was staying in Rue's room, the Victoria room. Well, at least she didn't die in here. I took a swig of the wine straight from the bottle. No reason to unnecessarily dirty a glass, then set the bottle down next to a plant that looked as if it was on death's door and set the pamphlet down next to it. It was getting close to sunset here, but I wasn't tired, nor was I going to waste the rest of my day in this room. After all, I was at a B&B that sat on the threshold of crashing waves and was in a short jaunt to a lovely lighthouse that had a creepy history that was begging to be scrutinized. I wasn't even sure that I believed in ghosts, goblins, or whatever the hell people thought went bump in the night. I just knew that I was intrigued by it. I was only brought out of my train of thought when one of the pictures hanging behind me crashed to the floor. The painted glass on it shattered under my feet. The startle that overtook me made me feel as if something was grasping my throat. It escaped me momentarily that I had jumped to my feet when the picture had initially fallen, and I felt somewhat silly. Coincidence? That's what it was. Well, that's what I thought until the one right next to it was propelled with great force down to the floor as well. I jumped back once again as the showers of broken glass sprayed past my ankles. Whoa! What the hell? I barely got the words out before the rest of the pictures in the room came down with a small force in a quick succession. My heart rate jumped, almost as quickly as I had when I found myself pressed against the foot of the four-poster bed. Everything went silent after that, and I let go of an unsteady breath I hadn't been aware I was holding in. Apparently, this was going to be a more interesting stay than I initially believed. But if it wasn't an excuse to take another swig from that bottle of wine, then I wasn't sure what was. I wouldn't say I chugged some of it, but it wasn't exactly a sip either. I replaced the cork in the bottle and set it gently in the bathroom sink. At least there was another exciting incident with glass objects in here while I was gone. I rummaged through my bag and grabbed my camera. This sunset would definitely be worth capturing. I wasn't exactly used to seeing the sun as it set over the ocean, having grown up in the interior of Alaska, and I had to get out of the room to get some fresh air. I swear I nearly high stepped the entire way down the stairs back to the lobby and stopped abruptly in front of the desk where I had checked in. Charlie stepped out for a bit. She said she'd be back in an hour or so. The mysterious man behind the newspaper spoke up. Did you see Rue already? I was taken aback to say the least. How the hell would he know? Don't look so speechless. I heard the pictures breaking from here. I'm guessing you weren't just throwing a fit because of a god awful paint job. He chuckled to himself. I, um, I blinked and shook my head. I just need some fresh air. I had never been a loss for words before, but there I was, stumbling as if as if I had just seen a ghost. No, that was utter crap. I felt my head shake again before I hastily stumbled through the door. Fresh air, fresh air. Yep, that's all I needed. Oh wow, the colors in the sky looked as if they were bright paint splashed across a canvas haphazardly. I raised my camera and click. Not only had the fog lifted, but the cloud cover had it completely dissipated as well. The white picket fence screamed of the American dream that simply didn't exist where I was from. But that barely registered on my mind until I passed through the gate. There was a hard gust of wind off the water. Then my senses were assaulted with the chilled, salt air, and I pulled my light jacket a bit tighter around myself. If I had taken 2 or 3 more steps forward, I would have walked straight off the bluff into the tumultuous tides below. I followed the path that wrapped around the front of the cottage into the adjacent garden and past the recreation and grilling area where I noticed a path that disappeared beyond the shed near the back. When I approached, I noticed the sign that was labeled it was as the way to the lighthouse and shrugged. It couldn't hurt to get further away from the spook central. I glanced over my shoulder at the cottage and shuddered, still unable to acknowledge it as having happened. In an effort to put the disturbing experience behind me, quite literally, I headed down the path that eventually had me shrouded in trees, where I finally felt safe and more at home than I had since I left Alaska. The walk was easy and blissful serene. It opened up to the grand structure of the lighthouse that now stood a short distance past what I could only assume had been the fuel sheds before automation had occurred. I was surprised that on such a beautiful evening, no one seemed to be around, but there were a lot of things that seemed to be off about today. The gulls were louder near the lighthouse, and the wind was sharper. I guess I answered my own question. Most people would probably be indoors eating dinner instead of subjecting themselves to the bone chill that came with the violent bursts of ocean gales. With no one around, though, I figured I could satisfy my long-standing curiosity by doing a little harmless B&E. I tried the handle of the watch house, and it was locked. Of course, it was locked. I rolled my eyes at my own overconfidence and tried one of the windows at the side of the micro building, and it squeaked upwards with a little elbow grease. I was grateful that I had taken after my petite Upika mother instead of my gangly, bumbling Scottish father. As my hips narrowly avoided getting stuck, I clumsily slipped through and fell into an impossible, contorted mess on the other side. Luckily, I had cradled my camera so it hadn't hit the floor as hard as my elbow had. That would leave a bruise. Y'all hear my dog? They're playing. Ain't they pitiful? Hey, Shaker, Shaker, Shaker. I was A cursory look around the room while I nursed my elbow showed me that it no longer served as a watch house, but instead as a storage shed for tools, other necessary equipment to maintain the upkeep of a new, now automated lighthouse. I smiled to myself. My fascination with lighthouses probably spurred from the fact that it wasn't a type of building that I was particularly familiar with. I could just smell the history in this place. A clanking sound echoed down the inside of the tower, and I had suspicion that I wasn't truly alone. But at the same time, I knew there was no one else in the building. There couldn't be. I moved into the tower and looked up, but the empty space in the middle of the spiral staircase that lined the walls proved to be just that, empty. Well, I wasn't a cat, so curiosity couldn't kill me, right? The stairs creaked underneath my feet. The light that filtered in was even dimmer as the sun sunk lower toward the horizon. I'd been curious about the inner workings of a lighthouse for years, ever since I saw my first one in a picture in a history book as a child. There was no one in the lighthouse. I noticed when I reached the top of the stairs, and the lantern room was just spectacular as I hoped it would be. But I ached to see what it must have looked like before automation took place in the 1960s. There was something else in the air here, though. Something was off. It just didn't feel right. I looked around in the cramped space and saw nothing. I shook my head and settled my eyes on the sun as it began to disappear over the ocean. This is what I really wanted to see. No view could compare to this. My hands rested gently on the glass as I pressed against the window, cautiously. Click! The satisfaction from getting a good photography compared to nothing else I sighed. Another creak of the floor rose from behind me. My breath caught in my chest, but I was frozen. I couldn't turn around to see what it was before my head was thrashed hard against the glass. The thick glass splintered out like thin ice under a heavy boat. I could see the blood that stained the crack as my vision blurred, and I dropped unwillingly to the floor. Blackness seeped into my sight, but I could still feel the pain as my body crumpled under further assault by what I could only describe as a black mass hovering over me. It was an impenetrable darkness that had no interest aside from causing me harm, and it won. I awoke to a shout. My eyes were bleary. I felt like I was looking through a red lens. Blood had spilled into my eyes. What I could see now was the ground threatening me from afar. I was halfway through the railing of the catwalk, and I was dangerously close to falling to what I could only assume in my state was certain death. There was another shout, and in my delirious state I could see an obscure figure running full speed towards the lighthouse. Blackness overtook me again. A strong jerk brought me around once more. My legs were being pulled by someone capable, and I somehow knew I was going to be all right. The man behind the paper from earlier was that. Are you okay? My mystery man asked me. The concern in his voice was transparent. Nah, help. I barely formed the words. Ghost. I wasn't sure what happened. I just knew it wasn't something I'd ever seen before. Yeah, little mouse, but you're all right now. I could feel him drag me up back into the lantern room or somewhere. I wasn't certain where I was anymore. But even in my poor condition, I know that this was a defining moment for me. This was something I was going to need to figure out later on down the line. Anna, I huffed through my laborious dragging breath. My name is Anna. Anna Byrne. The rest of the night was pretty much a blur. The mysterious man with the newspaper, he identified himself as Burton Jaskowski, helped me walk back to the cottage and then quite reluctantly to his room when he realized I didn't feel safe in my own. I fished the key out of my dirty jeans and he went to retrieve my bag from the room while I sat fretfully on the edge of his tub in the bathroom. Are you sure you're all right? He asked when he came back with my bag in hand. Are you sure you wouldn't like me to drive you to the hospital for that gash on your head? No, I mean, yes, I'll be okay. There was a pronounced throb in my head once he mentioned it. I need to know what is going on here. It's Rue, he said in a very matter of fact sort of way. You know, you should really let me take a look at that. I felt he simply was trying to change the subject. Yeah, fine, I relented, and he emerged with a first aid kit a few moments later. I winced when he applied the alcohol to the wound on my temple. Why do you think Rue attacked me? Burton eyed me cautiously as he cleared the blood from around my eyes. He looked like he was thinking hard about something. What was he hiding? I've been looking in this place for quite a while now. There's a bit of a there's a habit of a young women going missing in the area, and I noticed a trend. I've traced most of the disappearances to this lighthouse. The expression on his face looked haunted. Not to pat myself on the back, but you're pretty lucky I was here when you checked in. I was just about to leave. Wait, do the owners know about this? I furrowed my brow, and the immediate shock wave of pain reminded me of what was there. Do they know? He tried to hold in a laugh under his breath. They're the ones that disturbed her spirits and brought her back in the first place. They thought it would make the bed and breakfast more popular. You saw the nasty doll behind the front desk? That belonged to Rue. His story was wild. I had never heard of anything more ludicrous in my entire life. But here I was with a dent in my skull for my own skepticism. Burton finished tending to my wounds just as I was getting a call from, shit, it was my father. Sorry, I've got to take this. Hey, I'm sorry. I forgot to call and tell you I stopped for the night. I I was cut off by the sound of his voice rushing into the receiver. Are ye okay, Anna? My father's voice, curiously distraught. Yeah, da. I'm fine. What's wrong? I got the message from ye saying that ye gonna stop for Newport. Where'd ye end up stopping? Oh, I didn't know if I should tell him about what happened. Didn't want him to worry. I was fine after all. Hecate Head Lighthouse. There's a B&B here. It's cute, I guess. I struggled to keep my voice even as I lied to my father. Cut the shite, Anna. What happened? I sighed and recounted the events that had just occurred. My stomach sank when he didn't speak for a few moments. After I finished the story, I could hear a sharp inhalation, as if he were about to say something. Then he loudly exhaled, as if he had thought of a better of it. Anna, we got a lot to talk about when you're home. Get up that place as soon as you can. Come home, please. The urgency in his voice made me realize there was something he hadn't been telling me for a long time. I needed to get home. That's actually a pretty good story. I think I might be a good narrator if I could get down to it, y'all. I always just thought I'd tell some spooky scary stories on this spooky Friday, y'all. So, anybody got any plans for this weekend? Y'all plan to do anything crazy? Y'all just gonna chill, put your feet up, maybe some, it's a little too cold in some places to be barbecuing and doing things. Some folks might decide to still do it anyway. Me, myself, and I'm probably gonna, tomorrow's my husband and my day, so I don't know what we're all gonna do tomorrow. You know, and then Sunday's Geek and God Day. Y'all know I do my D&D, and I'm probably gonna chill today and play some games. My back's been really bothering me, and my knee. For some reason, my right knee been bothering the shit out of me. It really has. But no, I'm just gonna be chilling, and I'm gonna figure out what day I'm gonna do that game night for everybody. And I just want y'all to try it out and see what's up. You know what I'm saying? And see what's going on and see if y'all like it or whatnot. And for those that do, I want y'all to have fun because, you know, from the sectors we're in and everything, we know there's a lot of drama and bull mess. And sometimes we need a break from the bull mess, right? Sometimes we need us a little breaky break, have a little fun, clear our heads. And that's what I want my game night to be. I want it to be y'all's laughy, funny, ha ha moment, right? And so I am gonna probably do it this next week. I have to figure out the time and everything. And when I do, I'm gonna make sure I say it a couple of days in advance. I'm gonna make sure I put it on the community wall, share it out to everyone, um, and let everybody decide when, you know, when I do it and whatnot. And I want y'all all to join if you can and try it out. If you don't like it, like I said, you don't have to continue to do it, but I want you to try it at least. Like, I'm saying like parents do. I know the parent in me does that. Just try it. If anybody wants to hit the link is pinned. Um, if you want to talk about anything, it don't have to necessarily be on Freaky Spooky Friday. If you want to talk about horror movies or anything in general, the link is pinned. It's there. I've only blocked 2 people from my link, and I think I've gotten lucky in that fact. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna look into maybe doing that as a side hustle, is doing scary stories and doing narrations for them, and possibly doing narration from books. I know that some people love to read, but they don't have time to read. So I think I might do that as a secondary thing. Because I love to read myself, right? I do have a few books over here, and obviously you can look up anything you want on Google. So I might try that. But I'm probably gonna get off here soon, chill out, throw my feet up, see what the hell's going on these YouTube streets. I'm pretty sure I've been missing a lot recently. I know that I was over at Lemons the other night. We was just chilling, and I got to get up with him and see what's going on and everything. Um, but let me see right now who is live, so I can tell y'all what's going on in the sectors. Okay, y'all, know I do this every live. We have Sophia's Oasis is live, Grown Folks TV is live, Respectfully M is live, Court TV is live right now, Law and Crime Network is live, T.S. Madison is live, The Regina Show in the Lab live, Mahia is live, Miss Callie's Kitchen, Two Chicks with a Side Hustle, Transparent Talks is live, Miss Mo is live, Commentary by Joyce is live, Judge Shady Court is live, New Age Plug is live, Stomp Down is live, and the Trunking Community Clips is live. Now I'm going to refresh just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay. Y'all know, and also to make sure none of those people went off the list while I was reading it out. Nope, that seems like who is live right now. I'm going to make sure there's no new people. I don't see anybody else. If you know of anybody else's that is live, and you would like to put it in here and tell people to come, chill out and whatnot and put it in the chat, you may do so. If you're planning on going live within 30 minutes after I do, you can tell the folks about your live and, promote yourself. This is your time right now to promote your channel, promote yourself if you're going live so others may see it. I do want to thank everyone for being here that came through. Hit the like button, hit the share. Everybody that became members of my channel, that supports my content, the replay game, because I know some of y'all going to catch that replay. And I do want to say, if you would like to give to the Cash App to better promote the channel and put things in the channel, because that's what I do. I reinvest my money into the channel. Cash App is right there. If you would like to email me, my email is smexylady69@gmail.com. If you would like graphics, I start out at $20. Depending on how big or how much the graphics are, it may be lower or higher. Also, thank you all for becoming a member and being here today. If you just hit that like and that share and you just be here chilling, I thank you for all that. I thank you for every single bit of support, and I hope that you all have the most beautiful, blessed day today, and that this weekend you have the best weekend ever. I'm going to go play me a few video games, see what's going on in this sector. Might end up playing me some 7 days. If anybody else on here has a Steam account and you play games and you want to, possibly play some games together, just hit me up. We'll see if we can. I am a gamer at heart, always have been. Um, you know, that's the thing. Also, I love to read books. So if y'all would ever love to start like a book club where we read books together, we can do that. There's multiple things. I want y'all to always feel like you're involved in the content and that it's something you enjoy also. That's why I have different days with different content for different people, right? I have the true crime for when people want to see that. I have my topic Tuesday where the subscribers can bring up any topic they want to speak about. Monday is mod and messy Mondays, for the moderators to be able to have a voice and come up and speak their piece. Wednesday is Wellness Wednesday, where we talk about all things health. And Thursday is true crime, obviously. And Friday is Freaky Spooky Friday. I may end up changing the Friday topic. I'm not sure yet. Haven't decided. But I want you all to feel welcome here and just to be a safe space and a place just to chill and have fun. I don't want you to feel like you have to, you're here and it's just going to be a lot of mess go on. Because y'all have a lot of other places you can go for the mess, right? I want y'all to have a safe space in the morning when you wake up where you can just chill and relax and you don't have to worry about screaming or hollering and all this other stuff. You can get your day started right with some good conversation, some good content, and just have a good old time. We also will be doing, I am going to reach out to Amara Braxton's family. I will be doing I'm going to try to get them to do an interview to get Amaya's story more out there. Also, I'm going to be looking into doing more on the Nevaeh case. We're going to look more into that situation. And I will be doing some shows with other people. And when that happens, I'll make sure I put it on my community wall. So, shout out to Queen Tulsa, shout out to V. Lachey, Hazel Diane, Miss Unapologetic Mika. They've hit me up to do shows with them. And I just want to shout them out for that. Room Shaker is going to be doing some really cool content soon. Y'all should be really tuned in for her. She's going to do a word show. I think she may do it on members only. I'm not sure yet fully, but it's just going to be a fun time over there, And so VS has been doing her thing, Thizzle, with doing her different content, and prayers, baby girl, that, health wise, everything goes good. And I just want everybody, the Hood Table was showing yesterday some of her cakes and stuff. We all know the Hood Table loves doing her cakes. That's some of her stuff, and she talks about everything from the hood to the White House, as she says, But I want to see you all prosper and keep growing and keep being amazing and having a blessed and beautiful day. I love you, all my angels. Thank you for every single thing. I am super grateful. Y'all have a blessed and beautiful day. I will see y'all out on these streets later. And remember to take your medication today. The Steel Med Check reminder. All right. Bye.
I'm from the TUPELO. I'm breaking my hood, so love I'm gon' show from the TUPELO. I'm breaking my hood to the day that I go from the TUPELO. I'm breaking my hood, so love I'm gon' show from the TUPELO. I'm ripping my hood to the day that I go.
I'm from the west side, we don't need no introduction. This was the best ride. We all big boy rolling and holding. Come take a test drive. Hilldale, Evergreen, Glenkirk, Outer Street, bending every corner on the west, and that's where I'll be. Sunroof back, Captain C banging down 1800, chunking up the deuce to my post, slanging down on 1800. Show no love to the ladies that's training round on 1800, making time stand still. Crystalline swinging down 1800, watching out for them rubberheads that be stanging round on 1800. Big rims and low pros be blanging round on 1800. Better completely change the way you're thinking about round 1800. Really hate to see you boys get left slanking around 1800. Out of street got some history, just let Captain C lay it out. If I don't finish it all on this one, let the second verse break it out. Remember the blue were promising OG standing back there by 60 deep. Bull walking, car blue, a big Anthony using P.
I'm from the TUPELO. I'm breaking my